real estate investors know that owning real estate is a cyclical business, meaning that the value of the real estate that you own, the underlying asset, is highly correlated to what interest rates are doing. And as interest rates move up, the value of real estate tends to move down. And as interest rates move down, the value of real estate tends to move up. And so our industry is tied to interest rates. And the cyclicality of it is something that you all have to get used to as a real estate investor. So I want to talk about what we call the emotional market cycle. And so as you look at how real estate goes up and down tied to interest rates, if you look at this cycle at the beginning, this is really when interest rates are in a low or moderately low level. There's a lot of excitement about it. A lot of people are talking about it, maybe at the water cooler at work. And then when interest rates start to change and they start to move up, there starts to become anxiety. And this is because if you own real estate and you have interest on it, your interest payments are going to go up if you don't have a fixed rate loan. And it starts to change the financials of the asset that you own. And we started to see this. So in 2020, this is when we really hit our peak of the euphoria when interest rates were so low. And then since that time, 2021, 2022, and really kind of bottoming out in 2024 when interest rates are really high, and that starts to sink in, and it's very widespread now and well understood that interest rates have really impacted the value of real estate, both the value of it and if you're able to sell it to somebody else who has to get a new loan. But for us, we see this is actually the opportunity. And if you're a smart investor, you look for opportunities in a cyclical market like this. When people want to sell, you want to be ready to buy. And that's where we're at right now. We think that in 2024 to 2026 is really going to be the opportune time as interest rates remain elevated, as owners start to kind of feel some distress and some desperation around their assets. This is the time you want to buy those assets, because as we see, and as this chart finishes out, as we get back to a low interest rate environment, that's when the values start to move up. The hope comes back, all the optimism comes back, and that's when you want to own real estate and be able to sell it at that stage because you've bought it at the low point in the cycle.